Pep Guardiola is a manager that demands nothing less than excellence from his players. And for the past years, we have seen nothing except his and Manchester City's dominance in the Premier League. They won the last 6 out of 7 league titles. We're so used to the City battering everyone in their path year in and year out. Except, some things are very wrong. Pep and City haven't seen a victory in over a month, losing 5 out of their last 6 games. And just when it looked like they would be back to their winning ways in the Champions League against Feyenoord, where they were 3-0 up, everything took a turn for the worst. As Feyenoord were able to complete the comeback in the 89th minute, drawing the game up 3-3, and they were able to hold on to that lead. And Pep went insane, as he was literally seen scratching his head and looked super distraught in the post-game interview, even going as far as saying he wants to, well, actually I'll just show you the clip.
You've got a cut, and apparently some others.
Yeah. With my finger here, with my nail.
That's fine. I
want myself, yeah.
Anyways, although I do think there was a hint of a joke in there, the situation for Manchester City is worrying, as they are currently sitting mid-table in the Champions League group. And although they will surely qualify for the playoff phase, their path will be harder, as they will have to play against another team in the round of 32, before making it to the round of 16. Whereas if you finish top 8, teams would automatically go to the round of 16. Pair that with the fact that City have now fallen 8 points behind their rivals in the title race, and that gap could be even worse due to the fact that they play Liverpool on Sunday, and we could see City potentially fall out to 4th if Arsenal and Chelsea get the job done. And well, I think it's safe to say that Manchester City are in their own crisis. Sure, it's not like they're relegating, but City's standards are super high, as last season they won a 4th Premier League title in a row, which had never been done before, and the season before that they were able to do the treble, capturing their first ever Champions League. But what's wrong with Manchester City? What moves do they need to make? And is the Premier League race already over? Well, not quite, but it will be super difficult to come back from this, as their first very glaring problem is their injury room is full. I mean, their defense has been leaking goals, and there's a glaring reason why. World-class defender Ruben Diaz has been out for games, and John Stones was also gone as well, meaning that their 2 starting center backs were out. And although Akanji and Ake does get game time in their role, they definitely can't fill that same hole that Diaz has left. And not only is his defense suffering, but it's a theme with the whole squad, as in the midfield, Kovacic has been playing with an injury, and young star Oscar Bob has been out, leaving Pep without his usual plethora of choices. I mean, the guy switches tactics, and having all of these different profiles help him make said changes in the lineup. And of course, we cannot forget about Rodri. The Ballon d'Or winner has closed the season out with an ACL injury, and the midfield of Cities doesn't look the same without him. I mean, Man City played through Rodri in the build-up, and his excellent passing and positioning makes him the best midfielder in the world, so it's not a surprise that their midfield has fallen off. And I believe this also might strengthen his Ballon d'Or case, as City have conceded 17 goals in their last 6 games, and all I could remember is the one stat that showed Rodri had only lost 1 game last season, and that was in the FA Cup final to United, because their penalty shootout against Madrid isn't counted as a loss. And although their attack is not as bad as the rest of the side when it comes to injuries, they lost out on Jeremy Doku, who comes in those late minutes and gives defenders a nightmare with his speed when everyone else is tired. So it's another strategy that Pep has lost out on. So I think it's safe to say Man City will be better as soon as all of these players return, but I don't think it's the only problem they have, as it might be time for a mini rebuild for City, starting with their right back position. Kyle Walker is 34 years old, and it's not like he's terrible, but it's so obvious that he's lost that speed that's helped him become world class. And quite honestly, he hasn't been performing at the level we all expected him to. Sure, he could sit on the bench and still make an impact, but his days of locking down Vinny Jr. and Mbappe with his speed might be over. And although Rico Lewis is a talented prospect, I don't think it's time to take that position from Walker just yet. So I wouldn't be surprised if Man City are in the market for a right back as we speak. But that's not the only change, as I believe some midfield reinforcements need to come in. For one, Kevin De Bruyne is 33, and looks like he is hinting towards a Saudi move. And although I think that he's still at that world-class level, he seems to be chasing that one final paycheck before retiring, as he would state in an interview, At my age, you have to be open to everything. If I play there for 2 years, I can earn an incredible amount of money. I've played football for 15 years and I may not reach that amount yet. Showing that he has been tempted by the Saudi money, and I can't really blame him. Dude has won everything with City, and a footballing career can only last so long. And in the midfield is not just Kevin, as İlkay Gündoğan has returned and I believe him to be one of the most technical players in the world, but it's also clear that he's lost that physicality as well. He finds himself at 34 at the City team, and yes, he can still contribute, but they can't rely on him to be that clutch guy who gets you through. And this is not a knack on Gündoğan. Nobody could beat Father Time. They need young and dynamic players who can run in that midfield. And I would say there have been some rumors of players like Bruno Guimaraes, who was years younger and showed some incredible talent, being arguably their best player paired with Isaac. He would be a great replacement. And another reason City are falling off is simply because of form. I mean, Phil Foden has been playing terrible to his standard, as he was the player who won the Player of the Year award in the Premier League. And at 24, we expected him to spearhead the attack along with Erling Haaland. But something just seems off, as he has started this season slow when it comes to scoring goals and assists, failing to score in any of City's Premier League games this season. And talking about form, Jack Grealish is falling off the face of the earth, as he also hasn't scored a goal this season, and he's struggling to get playtime. When we all know everyone has complained about Pep ruining Jack Grealish, and this one might be true. Remember when Jack was the star of the show at Villa? Scoring goals left and right, and was allowed to just take his man on and showcase his dribbling. It just feels like that Grealish is gone. The one saving grace for City is the fact that Savinho is looking sharp. And at just 20, he's stamping himself in the first 11. His dribbling and speed is great, and he plays confident, but he also hasn't scored a goal this season. City's wing play is struggling to find goals, and he does have 5 assists in 16 games, but I don't think that'll be enough for City to dominate the Premier League, as they have done in years past. Thankfully, Erling Haaland is still Erling Haaland, so the goals are still raining in from him, as he has scored 17 in 18 appearances. Look, City will recover from this slump eventually, but I do believe the writing was on the wall that they were struggling a tad bit. I mean, they used to score goals for fun last season, but this one has had so many tighter matches, like winning against Southampton 1-0, Wolves 2-1, and Fulham 3-2. Usually we see much bigger scorelines, and I know 3 points is 3 points at the end of the day, but that's not City's standard. And while there was tons of speculation about Pep's future with the side this past couple of months, I would have thought that announcing the contract extension of Pep Guardiola for a further 2 years would be something the team needed to get that motivation, as they had completed the negotiations while they were in this losing slump. But that hasn't been the case. And I said before, City will be back. Maybe not against Liverpool, but they will pick up their winning ways. As players return from injury, and players like Phil Foden and Grealish regain form, I have no doubt in my mind that they will use this down period as a fuel to torch the league. And even though they could still be very far behind in the title race, I truly don't think it's over. And hey, even if the streak ends, they were the first one to win 4 in a row. I guess they should have stayed humble. But what do you guys think? Are Man City actually in a crisis, or are we all just exaggerating their run of form? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.